Renee, what's going on today?
How's everybody doing?
Okay.
How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? It's good to see ya.
We're doing good. We're doing
Come on on.
good.
Come on in. Come on in.
We're live in real color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Richard.
Yes.
How you doing?
Waiting for folks to join
Yeah,
in.
waiting for some folks to come in. Hey,
And
Cordell.
For our guests.
How's it
to
going in
pop
Atlanta?
Yes. Howdy.
Here's the song.
Here, put-
Hi,
here,
Keller Coleman.
here, connected to
You guys,
this one.
this one, okay, and there's, I don't know how to say that. Toilet official, is that right? OJ music.
Yeah.
OJ, what kind of music do you do? I'm curious. Hello, can you hear me? Claude, what you
Okay,
doing?
good.
Did I just see my cousin? I think I saw my cousin, Elena. I'm not.
Oh,
Keep
thank
up the
you.
good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
OJ, gospel music, right on, right on. What kind of music? OJ, is it traditional, whatever? Hello there.
All kinds. You got all kinds.
You live in the Bahamas.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Live
cool.
In the Bahamas. Okay.
In the Bahamas, that's
we
very
did
cool.
We did a concert there.
We did with Reverend Jackie McCullough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Papa San was there.
You love our show. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, cousin Elena. This is my beautiful cousin Elena. She's a photographer. You guys can say hi to her. She's kind of like the family historian in a way too. I think she keeps all those.
So
stuff
wait
going.
for our guests to dial
Come in,
in.
right.
Let me see here.
Miss Renee Spearman. Yeah. Renee. So we're waiting for her to come up. I hope she knows how to do this. You know, sometimes we have to call them on the phone, child.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because we do like to be kind of timely.
So waiting for her. I don't see if she's.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she's done this before.
I don't think she has. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we'll see. I'm going to call her in a minute, though.
Okay, that's okay.
How's everybody doing out there, though? Who's this? T. Lee? T. Lee, is that right? Am I saying that right?
Farley.
No, there's Twali, and this is T. Lee, right?
T-Lay.
T. Lee? My husband's going to put a French accent on everything. Hannah Chantel. That's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me see.
Yeah, check it out. See what she needs. If
I'm
she
gonna
needs any help from us, then we can do that.
Yeah, just in case. Let's see.
So is everybody happy with the gas prices?
Oh, please. No, I'm not.
He said,
Sending love from England? What is that? Britain. Oh, how cool is
Is that
that?
right?
We've
Yeah.
got some friends there.
Is that Britain? I think so, yeah.
That's Britain, right? Thank you.
Hannah.
Swim for the nations? What in the world does that mean?
That might.
Stuart Marshall? I don't know what that means.
Most has got to be, international.
I didn't know we were internationally known, y'all.
And, she's.
That
she's
is
on a swimming
sucks.
team. She probably
On a swim team?
probably did the Olympics.
You think? It does. Okay, I'm going to call
I'm gonna give it
Renee
to you.
because I don't see her. And I know she's trying to get
She's
on.
good, yeah. Let me check to see if anybody's coming in. It's at, right? Richard.
I'm going to call her.
Oh, there she is.
You just invited her? Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to.
You
okay,
try.
now it's saying go by.
Okay, all right, girl. We're ready for you.
I'm ready.
Okay, she's ready.
I invited her, yeah.
Okay.
There she is.
Hey! How you doing, girl?
Hey,
Oh,
how
I
you
can't
doing
hear you. How come I
today?
can't hear you?
Pump up the volume.
Are we hearing you? Uh-oh. Yeah, she's on, but we can't hear.
Let's make sure we got our volume.
Maybe it's something wrong with our volume.
Check our volume.
Ro,
Oh, wrong way.
can you guys hear us?
1 second, it's me.
It's you.
Yeah,
Hello?
there it is. Okay. So your volume,
You can't hear us either?
you can't hear us? Okay, 1 second. Let's see.
Oh, Lord, in the name of Jesus, make this thing work.
So we're on max volume. Can everybody else
Can you
hear?
guys hear us?
Yeah, they said they can't
They
hear
said
you.
it's yours. They can't hear you.
So you
They
have,
can't
are you
hear
on,
you.
have you muted? Are you on mute? Have you?
Well, don't make fun of that community.
No, she didn't
now.
do that. So okay, so I don't know what to say. Let me see. Can you text her, see if she if she's on mute?
Okay, I'll have to ask her.
Which color phone? Yeah.
Okay, I'm a call you on the phone, girl. Things happen every now and then.
She might have to break off and then come back on. Because everybody else can hear us. Yeah, they said they can't hear her.
They can't hear you. Okay, she went off.
Okay, she's probably coming back on. So let me go and invite her again.
We could hear her for a minute there.
No. Well, she must have.
I thought I heard her.
She must have gone on mute or something. There she is.
Okay, we tried again. Well, we're gonna try, and then what we'll do is we'll play some music.
You got a little bit of her new music.
Hello?
Oh, okay, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, thank you, Jesus. He'll never let you down.
That's why. How you doing, girl?
I am doing well. How are you guys?
Good. Well, it's an honor to meet you finally. I've been a fan and know about your choir, but have we ever talked to each other before?
I've seen you at a lot of places. I have pictures I've taken with you.
Girl, no.
As a fan of yours, yes.
Oh, thank you. Could you please send those?
I will.
I'd love to see them. Well, I consider it an honor. This woman is what I would have to call a local LA sweetheart for sure. And now I think that you becoming known throughout the country. You've had a few projects out, but now is the time when you really are blossoming, and that's what we want to talk to you about, all those great things that are happening for you a little later, in that everybody should really have faith and belief in what God has for them to do. And you're just a prime example. You've been through a lot of things. We're going to talk about that. And everybody, we want you to welcome one of our own from here in LA, Miss Renee Spearman. Oh gosh, we are so excited. What we're going to do, we're going to start off with two is, I got to get it on, but your new single, Renee, you said
I got it.
I got it?
I got.
Okay, I got. Tell us a little bit about this single we're gonna bring up.
I wrote the song actually during the pandemic, during 2020 when everything was going on, and the song, it talks about what a year we've had, what a day, everything changes. Things are not the same like they were in the past. But through all of this, we got God, so we can make it through anything.
It is a happy and cheerful song. And I want to say one other thing, and this is just Vicky being crazy. I know some people are going to say this auntie's talking crazy again. But you're really pretty. You're prettier to me now than even in your photographs. So, really pretty. I'm like, oh my God, a lot younger than.
And while you're saying that, while I'm looking at you, I'm like, she is so pretty. Her skin, her makeup, her nails, everything is just like you're aging just beautifully.
Oh, thank you. I am aging though, but you're just a woman. So we're gonna play a little bit of this song. Is this true? It's number 7 on the Billboard singles charts now.
Yes, this week it hit number 7.
Oh, girl, that. I'm gonna put.
You have to play it.
Okay, just press. I'm gonna play it at a certain part that I really like too.
Okay.
This makes me happy. Can everybody hear it?
You hear it?
I believe the sun will shine again. Amen. Oh my gosh. What a happy, happy song.
Thank
And
you.
something we need today.
Going through 2020. Shoot.
Girl, I mean, it just, and there's just so many new things. I'm trying to turn this off so it doesn't ring on me, but there's so many things going on in the world today. And sometimes we just really have to remind ourselves that we've got God.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that and what that means to you, especially during COVID.
It means a lot to me during COVID. I had actually didn't have COVID, but I had a lot of symptoms of COVID. I was very sick. I was vomiting, and I was concerned because, I am a diabetic, so I had the underlying health conditions, and I just kept praying and praying and praying and just asking God to heal me and not allow me to get sick and not allow it to catch me, and it did.
Yeah.
So I wrote that song from that experience, again, what a year, what a week. And then
But so you had symptoms and you would get tested and they said you didn't have it?
I didn't have it. They said I didn't have it. They said I had like a cold. I had a cold, but I didn't have COVID. Yeah.
Well,
so,
praise God for that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm checking out diabetes. And was it diabetes 1 or diabetes 2? Because I don't understand the difference. You can explain.
Diabetic, I have diabetes type 2. Diabetes type 1, it's a little less severe than type 2. Type 2 is the strongest one that you can have. So you have a lot of problems with your blood sugar, staying down, neuropathy, just a lot of things that go on. And so I've actually been a diabetic for like about 20 years now. So, but God has maintained me, and then He has blessed me. I don't have a lot of, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have.
Because I have to deal with high blood pressure. So that's something else. I guess diabetes and high blood pressure are very strong in the African American community. And
right. And normally with diabetes, you normally have high cholesterol and high blood pressure, but I don't. So I'm thankful
for that.
I'm able, to maintain, and, I try to do as much as I can on my own to walk and, eat right and do the things to keep everything under control.
Right. So do you belong to any organization? Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Did you want to ask a question?
No, I was going to ask, were you able to be vaccinated, or did your condition prevent you from having to?
Yes, I had the Johnson vaccine.
Okay, so you were able.
I was able, but when I got sick, that was prior to the vaccination. And so, right after when they made it available to everybody, I received the vaccination.
Well, praise God for that. But you were, because diabetes is very common. I don't know within the
African American, yeah.
But they say 1 out of 10 people in America has diabetes, and really 1 out of 5 have it, but don't know they have it. And so that's the other part, So that means that you have to go through regular checkups just to detect it.
And my mom passed in 2012 from diabetes complications. She had kidney failure. So I believe also I got it hereditary because
Yeah.
out of
Right.
me and my siblings, I was the only one that, and they
Oh.
eat way worse than me. So
Wow.
yeah, so I have to.
So you have to take insulin? Is that it?
No, I don't. I'm not on insulin. I just
Oh,
take
thank you,
yeah,
Jesus.
pills.
Okay.
I take pills, but no
Now, do you,
insulin.
That's good. Okay.
yeah, that's good. Do you belong to any organizations, or is there anything that you do in that realm, or just?
No, I at one point I was a part of the American Diabetes Association, and
Okay.
I would get involved, and but a lot of things been going on, so I'm gonna get back into it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think the best thing you can do about diabetes is to keep yourself healthy.
Right.
And that's going to really do a lot. But as I was telling everybody, you are a sweetheart here, especially in LA. And I was talking to the famed Dr. James Robertson, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, who you guys is one of my dearest friends, really. I really like him, and we have a lot of things in common. But tell me a little bit about this choir you had and some of the famous people that came out of it. I mean, that blew me away when you told me that.
Yes, in the 80s, I had a community choir. Actually, I first started, I like to write songs, so that's like my passion. And so what I wanted to do was just write songs for different artists and submit them to different record companies. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And I have a cousin, his name is Roman Johnson. He plays for Stevie Wonder. He played for like a lot of different people. And he said, Renee, why don't you just start your own thing? Like, and then you can record your own music and you don't have to wait for a label to, just do your own thing.
Right.
So I took his advice, and that's how I started the choir. And
how old were you when you started that choir?
Around 23.
Okay.
Yeah, around 23. And I just got people in the city. My dad being a pastor, we fellowship with a lot of churches, Church of God in Christ. So we always went to those 3:30 services where the choir had to sing, he had to preach, or the choir days and concerts and stuff like that. So I just kind of sought out people that I knew, and in particular, my dad fellowship with a church called Evangelistic Church of God in Christ, Pastor Charles Lawless, and Erica and Tina, Mary, they were in the choir. This was before Mary, and I would go to their musicals every Sunday. They would have a musical once a month, and I would go, and so I scoped them, out and asked them to be a part of it, and they were.
See, I thought you were an older lady. That's why, because I'd hear about the choir and stuff, and I just thought you were older.
We all around the same age.
Checking it out a little bit harder. And did Jason McGee come from there also?
Oh yes, Jason McGee. Jason came on a little later because he had heard about the choir, and he was like, I just always wanted to be in your choir, and so I had him direct. And I'm like more of a behind the scenes. I just like to see other people really go forth and be blessed, and so Jason was my choir director. I didn't even direct that much.
Wow.
And also, Dr. Holly Carter, she was a part of the choir. She led a song.
And she's a major producer, director, all of those kind of things. So, man, but I thought you were a lot older. Because it just, somebody that young with the kind of people you had coming out, and just hearing about you in LA, it was quite a thing. But, I wonder, I always ask this question too. You were a PK, a preacher's kid, and tell us about that and going through that, and then in your dad's later life, how you dealt with all that. We really want to talk about what it's like having to take care of your parents. I have a father that's 94 and my mom's 80 something.
87.
I don't know. She doesn't want us to say probably exactly.
Okay.
But
80 something.
I just want to talk about all of that now, because it's something that we really have to think about. People are living longer, and
yes.
Right. My dad, actually, my mom and dad split up when I was 6 months old. And we moved. My mom's family was from New York, so we moved when I was born. After 6 months, I moved to New York with my mom. We moved, and then when I was in the second grade, my dad, wanted us to come back to, to be a part of our life. So we moved back here, and then of course my dad was a pastor. He had started pastoring in the early '60s, so
He
he was
was
already a
still
pastor.
a pastor and your dad. Man, that is a lot.
Yeah, so he was a pastor. So of course, when we came here, we got involved in the church, and my dad noticed a gift in me. Your parents notice more even than you do, and he noticed, the music part, because my dad was a musician too, so he played the organ, and so he would, if I would hear him doing a part wrong, or he's teaching a choir, and I'm hearing him, I'm like, Daddy, that's not right, and so he said, well, you come up here and do it. And so that's how I kind of started getting involved with teaching and learning.
How old were you then?
Yes.
Like about 14.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So she had a great ear.
And my mom, she actually had a community choir as well. And she would have me lead songs. And I was so shy, I hated it. I didn't like singing or anything. I like singing in the background, like a soprano voice, but not up front or whatever.
But that's what I call the church, the conservatory of music. Because it teaches you to have to get out there and to get in.
Right. My dad, he pushed us, and then when you a pastor and your kids, you're doing everything. You're going to clean up. You got Renee, pick up that trash on them, whatever needed to be done. That's what we did. And so that's how I kind of got involved. And then, when the church went over to praise and worship, and you got to lead praise and worship, you got to be over the choir. You just so he kind of really pushed me out there, as well as my mom. And then after so long, I just started kind of developing into what I knew that God had called me to do, which was songwriting. And I started the choir and stuff like that. And then my dad pastored for over 50 years. And he got, ill in his early 70s, dealing with dementia. And then he ended up having it was very difficult even with that, because, he would get lost and we couldn't find him. And then I had to actually stop working because it had gotten really that bad. I was working for a bank, and I had to stop working I love my daddy. I had to take care of my daddy. And so I took care of him for 10 years, and he passed actually just 5 years ago in 2017. And I took care of him for 10 years, all the way. And it was such a blessing, because I didn't even look at him as just my father, but I felt like I was taking care of my pastor. So the ministry side of him as well, you're just real careful, because it's not just your father. This is a pastor, a man of God. So I just felt good, taking care of him. And I tell everybody now, if he was still here and I could do it all over again, I would.
You do it, yeah.
Oh, girl, I admire you for that. I really do.
More and more, our elders. Well, I'm an elder now.
Yeah, we're.
But that number is growing, and it doubled since the census, the 2010 census, and the 2020 census.
Really?
And so more and more,
there are more seniors.
But the good thing is, prayerfully, a lot of elders are able to manage on their own, but some cases they can't, and you need to provide support.
And my mom, she passed 5 years before my dad, and she wasn't even sick at the time. My dad he was sick first, and I was already taking care of him, and then her diabetes had kind of got out of control, and she passed. But she was able to take care of herself pretty much up until she passed. But my dad, his sickness was so severe, he couldn't walk, talk, or anything. So he was like a baby, bedridden. So he needed 24-hour care. So I'm just thankful.
And you were the one that did that?
It was me. I'm the youngest. And it was me.
Just you. I mean, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 sisters. One of my sisters passed in 1995 from multiple sclerosis, and I have 2 older sisters. So it was it was me. I just felt like I was the one that God wanted to take care of him, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. We got so close.
Look at your spirit. It's amazing. But the other thing is, your dad was kind of brilliant. He wasn't just, you got to tell us about your daddy and these properties, girl. I mean, it blows me away how well your father prepared. So, I mean, he prepared all this stuff, and he had so many years where he totally didn't know where he was or anything, but he put stuff together. Talk about that.
Yes, my dad, when actually he worked, first he was a manager at the gas company downtown. And then when we first came out here, and I was a little kid, so these are all the things he told me. And he was also a mail carrier, and then he said that God had spoke to him and told him to go full-time pastoring. And so that's what he did. And when I say full-time, he wasn't just there on Sundays. My dad was at that church every single day of the week, and meeting the needs of the people. And so as that, he had already, bought his home when he first came here, because houses were so cheap. He only paid, I believe, $15,000 for his house. And then once he started pastoring, he just started, buying a lot of things around the church. And he was good with his hands. Even in his house, he built a third room by himself. And, the church, he built the church with his hands, him and some of the ministers and the deacons and stuff, the brothers, they built the church. And then it was an apartment complex next door, and he bought that in the name of the church. And he just was buying up. Everybody always say the whole block belonged to my dad or whatever. And he would just buy things and pay it off. He wasn't really into fancy cars and clothes, and because people always say cars, you drive it off the lot, it's not going to hardly have any value, but property will. So he taught me a lot. I remember being 12 and 13, and he picked me up from school, and I'm going by the bank. You fill out the deposit. Like he taught me a lot.
Girl, this is so beneficial.
And as he got older, he was like, I'm getting tired. I need, my daughters to step in. And nobody really stepped in but me. And so I, stepped in and just started doing everything. He was saying, if something happened to me, my tenants wouldn't even know who you are, whatever. So I just started getting more involved with.
So he made sure that they knew you, and you could, oh girl, this is inspiring me so much. So he wasn't trying to drive fancy cars and do this and that, but his legacy and generation wealth is that he owns all these apartments, the church.
Yeah, and a few commercial properties that he owned, and he was a good landlord. Like, I would just be like, Daddy, you mean to tell me that's all they pay? Whatever. He just always tried to help people and help them. And, he loved, because he had 4 daughters, he loved helping women. So he would, just tell me, I give her a break because she's a woman and she's single and she's trying to do, her best or whatever. So he was just always, like,
cry. Because look at it now, still blessing people.
Yeah. But you don't have that spirit a lot. You don't have that spirit. Everybody, I call it predatory capitalism.
Yeah. And another good thing, even with the people that lived in the church apartment, sometimes they wouldn't even pay rent, and he'd just be like, I ain't worried about it. Some people lived in there for years and didn't pay a dime. But he was always blessed because he would pay, all of his properties were paid off. And
so when he passed, everything was paid for.
When he got sick, everything was paid for.
He got sick.
Before he got sick, like way before.
I hope you're hearing this.
Yep, everything was paid for. So it was another, if he would have had a lot of debt, he was in no debt, like no debt. His vehicles, he would, like I said, he wasn't into vehicles, but when he needed to get a new one because one was breaking down, he would just save up money, pay cash for it. He taught us not to get in a lot of credit
I'm not
debt.
connected like that.
Yeah, so he
that we
Yeah,
will be.
he was very, very, very blessed, and always was grateful to God. And he used to always say, "It's not me. It's not me. It's God blessing me." So I
Wow.
tried to. My daddy, he was my hero, and so I
Oh
just
God,
tried to keep
hero
up,
too.
with the way he is,
Yeah,
the
my
way he
dad's
was.
a lot like that too, though.
Yeah.
So I must say, yeah, yeah, it's a whole nother school of thought. But I wanted to talk to you for two things. One is the thing I love about the Black church when it's right is it's not just a place where you go to get saved and know the Lord, but it's a place in the community that supports people. Like we go to Faithful Central, and our church definitely does that. And also, it's a conservatory of music.
Right.
There's so much education, and it's so many things for the community. And you're blessed. I mean, you're talking about your choir and everything, and it just it blesses me just to hear all of this. It's so encouraging. But girl, I got to get messy.
You gonna get messy.
Vicky Mac Latayats got to get messy just for a minute. But this is a good one. Okay. Now, girl, I see today you've got lovely tresses. But I do want to talk about Black women and extra hair and weaves and wigs, which you seem to like, and a lot of Black women do. And girl, let's talk about hair. Now, tell me where you got this love of all these different looks and styles, and I want to know if your hair has names.
Yes. I even when I was younger, I used to always get braids and flip them to the side and all different colors. And my dad, I remember he used to say, "You gonna buy me a new vacuum cleaner because I'm tired of vacuuming up all this false hair." So I wore braids and hair, like forever. And now I wear a lot of weaves and I wear a lot of wigs because they don't have like the wigs that your parents had a long time ago, the short, stiff ones and stuff. So now you can get them long, you can get them.
Right. You can do whatever. Oh gosh. Well, I love it, and I love the versatility. But I do want to have a discussion with you about something that's very important, and that's Black women in their hair and the Crown Act. You want to talk to us a little bit about that Crown Act? We discussed it a little.
I recently read up on the Crown Act, and it's basically about Black women in their hair not being discriminated against their hair and their culture. And so I'm grateful for it because, like you said, sometimes it may be too hot to wear hair. You may want it braided. You want to wear your own natural hair, and you may go into a place and they may look at you differently, or you may go into work and, oh no, you can't. I have seen even in the church where strict churches where somebody has a problem with hair braided or hair color or
well, that's true.
in the church.
Yeah.
Recently in the church.
Yeah.
And so I believe with that law being passed, that will take care of that too. You can't discriminate.
I never thought about it, but you're right, even in the church. But we found, and I got this paper that Claude got it actually, and I don't know if I put it up there. Can you guys see it?
I see it.
These are some of the pictures of what they consider is a professional woman. I'm going to show you another page. We can go through this. Here's another page. A professional hair. Now, I want you to notice something with this professional. What is considered professional? Another page. And we're going to go on to another page. Do you see something in common? no black women.
Right.
So what they have found scientifically, and I got this on YouTube by Dean Ashley Shelby Rosette, I think, from Duke University, said that because people's ideas of what is professional, which has got to be straight hair, that if you showed them pictures of black women, especially with natural hair, but black women, period, they are considered less professional than women, than white women or women with straight and conforming hair. So women with natural hair are hired less and less likely to get promotions because of our hair. And that's very disturbing because, you know, my hair, well, I've been straight, but it's coming out of the straight again, and I'll go back natural, and it's disturbing. But
well, you know, part of that is what the chronic. Well, chronic is passed in California, so it's not national.
By Holly.
So, I don't know.
Oh.
Who did it, but it's designed to prevent that. So in a corporate business basis, that you can't be discriminated, you know, going to work, that you got to have, you know, and they go through about 10 different styles that they said are appropriate, but all of them imply that you have to have straight hair. And so, but this is saying that you can't discriminate, at least in a corporate or public setting, and where women can't wear, you know, their natural hair. And Vicky's sister was in the Air Force, and for a long time, that, you know, it was very difficult because she couldn't wear her hair in certain ways. They've relaxed that a little bit now.
Yeah, you couldn't wear braids or anything like that.
A lot of stuff
but
like
you
that.
had to wear your hair back in a bun.
Right.
So hey, there's my sister, Yoga Mac. She just joined. We're talking about you, Colonel.
Right. So, but it's relaxed somewhat. But again, this has been something that really impacted women of color, particularly black women, because of the texture of their hair and how you can't go natural. And like you said, people discriminate against you, and you know, a lot of times you don't get promoted and stuff like that because they look at you a particular way.
Yeah, and I do want to give, I believe her name is Holly Mitchell. Is she but I just feel she deserves. So if any of you guys know her name, is she Assemblywoman or something here in California, who started this whole thing with another group of people? I think it is important educationally, but I know a lot of times y'all help us out with that. But the Crown Act is very important. But this, I think, is important too. Sometimes the natural hair community looks down on women for wearing wigs and weaves, and I think that's wrong too. I think people should be able to wear their hair how they want to, and is what is most comfortable for them. So the natural community coming down on people for wigs and weaves, that's silly too. Thank you, Richard. Supervisor Holly Mitchell. Thank you very much. And she got all that started.
Before she did the assembly. Well, you know, my thing is that, you know, you see this article that I printed out, showed to Vicky. You know, my thing is some of the best black women hairdressers should put together a page. It's like on YouTube. They said these are the professional styles, you know, and come up with a set of styles for black women and black, you know, hair. So
I've
that
seen
you got
some
something
of
like
it
that
now, but we need to see it where it's mixed in. So if you say a bob works, let's see black, white, Asian, all
the bobs, right.
All the bobs.
but again, the only thing I'm saying on that is that a lot of times, you know, sometimes even though your hair is natural, you can't necessarily put it in a bob, but there needs to be things that you can do with natural hair that's acceptable, and they can define, you know, have a style, a standard, because in most corporate you can't go in with purple and red and green hair, so that's They're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some
that.
limits, but it can't be on the way your hair
Yes,
is naturally,
texture, yeah.
so that you have to burn. I still have PTSD or whatever they call it, whatever, behind my mother burning me with that comb.
Oh, I was thinking about that when you guys were talking. When I was little, and you had to get your hair pressed, and you and burning, and also I thought about. I remember I had did a video shoot, and I got my hair done, and it was a part of it was weave too, and my hair is out in the top, and by the time 30 minutes, it looked like I had a big old afro. And so it's like some things you just, you be like, what happened? I just got my hair done this morning, and the air and the moisture from the air early in the morning, it will make your hair just, and so it's sad when you have to deal with that. It's something you can't help.
No, you can't.
Well, for people that don't know, I guess a week or so ago, somebody will help us with that. The Congress passed the Crown Act.
It wasn't Congress, House of Representatives.
Oh, House, okay.
And it's gone to the Senate for.
But people are voting on party lines. So the vote was 235 to 189 against the Crown Act. Four. No, it had to be four for it to pass. It was 235 for and 189 against. Right. Why would you not want people to have? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
But do you think it just might be race?
It is race. It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be because you think, like some of them said, we got reports back that some people said it just looks unkept. That's in your mind that it looks unkept. And so so they think it looks unkept and unprofessional, and we've got to change those views. So
you have to redefine that. So that you're right.
But we've got to, support legislation, especially, I guess. So I don't know when it goes to the Senate, but honey, I like everything you're doing, and and keep it up. I love it. Let's see. Oh, there was something else that said here, the number of Americans aged 60 and older, this is going back to us supporting our elders and our family, increased by 34%. From 55.7 million to 74.6 million. So it's grown 20%. So a lot of us are going to be taking
the baby
care.
Boomers.
Yeah, we're getting old, and we need y'all's help. Something else I wanted to just share with you was about 10, 15 years ago, I was actually, speaking of your mother and MS, I was diagnosed with MS. And I got a miracle and have not had any symptoms in years. I don't know, but I'm so grateful.
My sister that I was mentioning that passed away, she had multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
That passed at 30 years old.
At 30 years?
30 years old.
Oh, Jesus. Ugh, gosh.
We have a dear friend who has MS, and she's been dealing with it very well.
Yeah.
She has these episodes, and we go through it, and so it's
I don't really have episodes, I don't think, or anything, but I know I used to trip a lot and fall.
That's how my sister started. She would lose balance, and it was just an experience. She ended up not being able to walk at all, and but she knew God, and she loved God so much prior to her being sick, and she actually had went into a coma during the process, and she was in a coma for 6 weeks, and after she came out the coma, praising God, and she told my mom that she wanted to be back where she was in a coma, and my mom looked up all the words that she was mentioning. They were all had to do with heaven, and she passed about a few years later from it. But
she went back.
She was ready.
Praise God. Wow. Well, I remember, I just will never forget it, when we did the Dorinda Clark Live, the one with her with the red dress and the hair. I was in a wheelchair. Wow. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. God is good.
Well, in the video, you'll see it in the video.
Yeah, and then I just
But
got
then, you know, God
healed.
worked a miracle, and praise God for that. So,
Yeah. You know, and God work. We don't know how or why He works the way He works,
Yes.
but we know He works.
Yes.
And
that's true.
and
That's true.
so I'm encouraged to know
And
that.
you are looking as beautiful as ever. It's like you look younger, man. Like you look like a different person to me. Like you're already cute and sassy and
Thank
things
you.
going on. But it's like you look wonderful.
Thank you. Well, I'm taking care of my diet better, and you know, this is funny, but I'm serious about it. When Fenty makeup and Pat McGrath and all these black-owned companies started making better makeup for, especially for dark-skinned black women, and I worked on my, you know, health, eating right, and exercising, it made a big difference. The other thing was I got counseling for for depression and things like that, and have been freeing myself of some things that were on me, and that, you know, and just getting the joy of the Lord and everything, and just finding things that I'm interested in. It has helped me quite a bit. You know, yeah, just working on this right here, and learning to love and appreciate other people. And girl, one of the biggest things was, and I still am working on it, so I'm not saying I'm there, but to let old stuff go, to let it go, because it just, I think it will make you age more.
Yes. Yes.
You
Stress
know?
will make you age.
Yeah, you know, you just sit up there and obsess off of, he did this to me and she did that to me, and I'll never talk to her again. Learning how to forgive people. And like I said, I'm not totally all the way there yet. I believe I'm getting there, but in my heart, so I still got some stuff I got to work on. But just letting stuff go is helping me so much. Oh, I tell you, yeah. So, but and you're just gorgeous. Like I said, they got to work on your photos though, because it's not bringing out your beauty. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying, because you are really, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just so cute.
Thank you.
So, but let's talk a little bit about your project and your writing, and James Robinson, Dr. James Robinson, who adores you, by the way. I don't know that, but sometimes it can be hard with artists, and you're working with them, and you want the best, but they're just difficult. And he just says you are so wonderful to work with. So tell me,
I'm telling you,
girl,
that is a blessing. That really is. And so,
I remember, I always knew who Professor Roberson was because of the, you know, the wonderful music that he put out. And I had reached out to him actually on a project that Dr. Bobby Jones was going to present for me. And, you know, many times he would say, no, that ain't really my style or whatever. And then when, you know, I mentioned Dr. Jones, he was like, okay, I'll give it a try or whatever. And then we just, from there on, we became really good friends. And I know he's very knowledgeable. And so even prior to that, I would call him and ask him, well, what do you think I'm doing wrong? Or what do I need to do? Or what, you know, whatever. And he was always open. He never kept things from me. He was always open and honest, and always tried to help. And we have been good friends. We're really good friends. So he's one of the things he say, you know, about me, like, I don't bug him. I listen. I, you know, take his advice. So I'm not a difficult artist or whatever for him.
You shouldn't be with a record label if you're not, first of all, if you don't understand your contract, because it is hell having people come back later and say, you cheated me. You took this on my publishing, you did that. And I'm like, you had an attorney, you had managers, now you did bad and I took advantage of you. That really hurts me and bothers me. And if so you really need to understand the label you're with, if you like, want to be with them. And we're people too. And, you know, we believe we're doing work for the Lord, and So I'm glad you have that relationship, and like I said, I just adore him. But also tell me about how you got with Bishop Hezekiah Walker, how all that came about.
Well, like I said, Dr. Holly Carter, she was in my choir, so I've been knowing her forever, and we actually go to the same church as well. And
okay, well respected. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were at church, and she's over. She leads the praise and worship once or twice a month, and I'm on her praise team. So we always in the choir saying chit chatting and stuff. So I said, Holly, and I said, I need you to get Hezekiah Walker on my song. She said, what?
That's all it takes.
Hezekiah Walker on my song, and she said, okay. She said, I'll ask him. All I can do, I'll ask, and what is it gonna hurt? And so when church was over, she had her phone and was texting him, and she texted me later, and she said, he said he'll do it. And I was like, what? And so she introduced, us through text, and she was like, I'm out of it. He said he'll do it. Renee, you deal with him from now on. And that's what I did. He did. Oh my gosh, he's so nice. He did not. He would call me, and even when he recorded his part, he'd be like, "What do you want me to say? Is it okay if I like?" I'm like, "You're Hezekiah Walker. Why are you asking me?"
right.
Or whatever. So it was just a blessing, and as the song, was doing well, he would text me, "Renee, the song is doing well. I'm so proud of you." And Renee, the song, and even the current song that I have out, he'll text me.
Yes.
I'm playing your song on my show all the time. Yeah, he was congratulations, on this song, and I just thank God for that relationship, because Hezekiah Walker is one of my very favorites. He's been my favorite. Yeah.
Mine too, and we were his publisher for many, many years.
Oh.
So, oh man, what's the song? I'll pray for you, you pray for me.
I need you to survive.
That's it, girl. I need you. Oh, that song. Oh my gosh, I love that song. But so many of us love it. I need you to survive. That's right. I love that song. You guys have any other Hezekiah songs that are your favorite? But so tell us now, when did you've got this big single out now. When did that record release, or is there a new release coming, or is
actually it's on Professor Robeson did an essential for Renee Spearman, so it's actually on that project with a lot of other songs that I have recorded in the past. So it's been out almost like a year now, so it's doing well.
So now it's
amazing because you just want, as an artist, you want it to happen sooner, but God does things in his own time, and you just have to accept the will of God for your life and trust him. And so that's what
and he's brilliant. He knows. And I remember, for me, a lot of times artists sometimes would get so disappointed because I lay on a single for a year and a half sometimes, and people would be getting in their ears saying, that record should have come out, and blah 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 blah. And like I remember with Trinity 5-7, we laid on Oh Mary and By His Grace, and then look what happened. They got gold and platinum records out of it. So especially in faith-based, it because we don't have radio, 24-hour radio everywhere.
Right.
It takes, I call it, is it soup yet? So you got a cousin on here, Asian, what? Is that your cousin? Or my cousin? Somebody said, hey, cousin.
Oh, yeah, that's my cousin, Asian.
Okay.
Yeah, she lives in Cincinnati. Hi, Asia.
Okay, that is so cool.
Sorry y'all didn't win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, he's being facetious because we were happy. How'd you feel about the Super Bowl, and especially seeing Mary on
Oh my gosh, I actually text Erica right after, after the game. She texted me right back. She's so sweet. I text her and congratulated her. It felt good because it's people you know. And another friend of mine, his name is Monty Newble. He's a part of the Newble brothers. Their brothers. He played for he's a keyboard player. He played for the Snoop Dogg segment, and I saw him.
Very
That's a
interesting.
Newell.
Well, the Newells are some of the greatest musicians ever.
Yes.
And I don't know this, but Gretchen, who is my heart, Gretchen Newell worked with Gospel Centric for many, many years.
I knew that, yes.
You know,
I was a fan of Gospel Centric, so I knew who everybody was.
she quit us 2 times in this. I know you're mad at me, Gretchen. I know you don't want to be with me, but I need your help. You need to come in. So we did like that. But oh gosh, we are so happy for you. So what should we be looking for from you in the future? First, I want to say thank you, because we had somebody that had canceled, and you came and said you would do this at the last minute. So I want to say thank you. Yes, somebody said I love the project with Press Black.
Oh, I know him. I know him too. Hi, Richard Nichols.
That's right.
I call him my photographer because he takes pictures.
Oh yes, he's always there in LA. There's be a event that he's not at, you don't see him. So that's great. But what should we be looking for from you in the future now, and how can we support you? Because we're all about.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna actually. It was something else, because I'm always telling James, oh, after this, I'm taking a break. He'd be like, Renee, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? And I'd be like, I can't even talk about it right now because I need to get this over with. And last Friday, I went to a revival, and the preacher that was speaking was prophesying as well, and was like, you're going to be writing some more songs, and the next song you write is going to be bigger than the one that you got just. I had just got off the phone. I was talking to James while I was actually writing to the church, complaining, telling him I ain't doing this and I'm not doing that. And I got in church, bam. God
sent somebody to
Don't tell my daughter.
He been telling you, and then he sent somebody to confirm.
That's
and so I had to call James back and say, you ain't going to believe what happened when I walked in that church, what the man of God said. And so I'm going to get back to writing and, get back into the things.
Who are some of the other people you've written for?
It's just been me. It's just been
okay. Get the girl, keep getting those out. And the song that we all need to pick up now is called
I Got God.
It's a really happy, joyful song, you guys. So
thank you.
Please I got to tell you about our listeners. We may not have the biggest yet, but we've got very influential people that listen to this station, this Instagram, IG Live, and they really support. And so when we ask them to do that, that's exactly what they do. So we appreciate you.
Yes.
Try to stay in touch. I say this with everybody, but some people, sometimes you got to text me too and say, hey, I've got a lot of people that say, hey. And then I'll get back. But let's try to stay more in touch. And
I would love that.
Like I said, the president of your label, Dr. Professor James Robeson, my sister knows him too, because when he would meet me in San Antonio, Professor Robeson, and we would go to the museums because we're both lovers of art. And there's a museum in San Antonio called the McNay Museum there that we would go to, and also a church there that my sister belongs to that he became friends with the first lady. I can't remember the name of the church, but oh well, next time, because I'm sure he might have you over there too at that church. Really wonderful people. Yeah, James. I introduced him to the first lady, and he
put a church tour together, especially now this everything's getting back together. Put together a church tour. He's going to be in the back selling CDs.
Yeah, but he said, oh yeah, I talked to the first lady in San Antonio all the time, and blah 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 blah. So I'm sure you'll be visiting there. And it's so good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will see you next time, girl.
Okay.
When you get my next radio single, please let us know.
I will, and thank you for having me. And I love what you guys are doing as a husband and wife. Oprah and Stedman. I love it. Even when I was talking to you on the phone, it was so, I can't hear anymore. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
I heard him in the background. I was like, this is just so cute.
This is my guy, 41 years.
I've been who he.
Ask you one thing, girl. What fragrance are you wearing? What's your favorite scent? And I got to show people my favorite scent too.
I actually love fragrances from Bath and Body Works. I'm not
I am not
a perfume girl. I'm more just like, I like the spray.
You know, I love them too. And a lot of times I'll wear them. I layer it. I'll wear something, I'll take their bath and all that stuff, and then I'll put a fragrance that I see matches that. But I got to show you something, girl. Okay, this is the fragrance I like. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's backwards. It's BDK, and it's Possessoir. And girl, I mentioned them in something, and they got back with me.
Oh, they did?
Yes, and so this is the fragrance, BDK. Girl, it is gorgeous, and so I'm going to be reviewing some other BDKs too. But I appreciate it so much. I just mentioned it, and they wrote back to me, and that really tickled me. So I want to show people the fragrance. We got to give Bath and Body Works some due praise too, because a lot of people wear it, and it's good.
They layer it as a
and those butters and stuff. Okay, yeah, we couldn't get that. So now we got our wigs, and you get those all over, I guess, huh? your wigs and stuff for us who like that, girl. You might need to be getting in that hair.
Yeah, I actually want to do a hairline.
Do it.
That's something that I
you got the experience.
Do it.
That's
during the pandemic, I done learned how. This was black. I know how to dye. I know how to do my own little eyelashes and stuff. I've learned a lot, eyebrows and stuff like that. So I don't have to go too far. Like if I got to do something special, of course I'm gonna go a different way. Right. But it's just regular everyday stuff. I have learned through this pandemic. Nails. I used to get nails all the time. Now I just get manicures because I learned how to do them myself. So I saved a lot of money over the last couple of years.
See what I'm saying? And now you can go on YouTube and learn anything you want to learn.
Yes. You
don't always have a glam spot. I mean, sometimes it's still good. And somebody said they like this bottle, so I'm going to show it again. And so...
But yeah, the hairline that you put together, you gotta check it out.
Thank you.
Oh, Linda's
Linda McQuery, I got something.
I see. Ebony Thunderbird.
Ebony Thunderbird, you got.
I think
Ebony Thunderbird. I don't know if you could get her, but she's one of the most wonderful radio promoters. She's always so kind, and she's great at her work. There's some others as well. So now I gotta mention Tracy Artist and there's a number of them. But I adore Ebony Funderburg, and one day we probably should have Ebony on to talk to her about some of her projects and have some of these promoters on. But we love you, girl. I'm glad we got to really meet. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh, you put some.
Hello.
What's up?
Thank you so much for watching Carfitable Talks.
Thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
leave some comments. We really need to hear from you.
Thank you.